Thank you for coming today. I'm Mayor Jim Naugle from the city of Fort Lauderdale. I am going to be unavailable this evening at 4 o'clock when the rally is taking place, and I wanted to make an announcement today. First, I want to issue an apology. I was not aware of how serious the problem was of the sexual activity that's taking place in bathrooms and public places and parks around Broward County, in particular in the city of Fort Lauderdale. I've been educated on that, and I want to apologize to the children and to the parents of our community for not being aware of the problem. I've been receiving information from all over the country, but I guess the most useful information was from my own backyard. And someone sent me a column written by a local homosexual activist, a great guy, a guy I consider a friend, Norman Kent. I used to do his radio show when he couldn't make it. And he wrote an article about how, in his view, public sex is socially unacceptable and our society does not tolerate it, nor should we. And Norman Kent also directed me to a website that is out on the internet that I found some very disturbing information on. And the website is identified as, the name of it is Cruising for Sex. And I have a copy of it here. I have some media kits that I'm going to be handing out. It identifies public places where men are meeting for sex around the county. And in particular, it identifies 2 city parks. This to me is totally unacceptable. And I don't think that in the name of being inclusive or tolerant, any of us in the community should tolerate this. I also have some information. Norman Kent's website directed me to an article from the New Times that was entitled Sexual Roulette. And it talked about the problems of HIV and AIDS in our community. And the Broward County Health Department has recently submitted this report on HIV and AIDS in our community. And the report states that Broward County leads the nation in new AIDS cases. Also, Broward County is leading the nation in the incidence of new AIDS cases within the men having sex with men category. It's called MSM. And this is something we should all be concerned about. So what I'm doing today in advance of the rally this evening is I'm asking responsible members of the homosexual community to work with me to get these parks removed from these websites that are out there being advertised internationally. And also I'm urging citizens that if they view illegal activity taking place in our parks or public restrooms around, that they contact the police department so we can take action. I'll be available for a few brief questions in advance of the rainstorm.
Mayor Naugle, do you apologize in any way to any members of the gay community or their families for the way in which you have identified them with certain forms of behavior, bearing in mind we'll be talking about 250,000 gay men in parks every day and night?
Which media outlet are you part of?
Actually representing Gay National Gay News.
Very good, very good. I apologize for not bringing this problem forward earlier. Maybe some lives could have been saved.
Do you understand why people personally are offended?
Well, I understand that sometimes hearing news that's important to news makes you uncomfortable, but it's for the safety of all of our citizens, particularly those in the gay community, that this activity should cease.
Mayor, who's responsible for the sex in public restrooms? Is it closeted heterosexual males who are married, or is it openly gay people, and how would you know?
Well, if they're having sex with men, they're not heterosexual, but you may be right that there could be closeted folks, but they're definitely not heterosexual.
What does that indicate?
Yes, sir.
Since the last time you and I talked, you had said that you didn't apologize for the comments you made before, and now we came expecting an apology of sorts, and you're really basically saying, I'm sorry you were offended. Can you talk about the thought process from last week to this week that has galvanized you to keep pushing this issue?
I've just learned so much more about it and how bad it is in our public places that this kind of activity takes place. I'm the guy that gets the call from the Little League dads and the soccer moms that complain about when they go to a public restroom, they feel very uncomfortable. They have to go inside to make sure this kind of activity isn't taking place. And I've received lots of emails from responsible members of the homosexual community that agree with me, that they think this is a silly argument to have, and I'm really asking the homosexual community to join with me to cease this activity for the benefit of the children and the parents in the community.
Why is it the homosexual community's problem if it's heterosexual positive males causing
the eyes of the gay community? As far as this being a very gay-friendly destination, there are a lot of people across the country like, well, I guess Fort Lauderdale is not what I thought it was, and maybe I don't want to bring my dollars there.
Well, we really should examine. Here we have one segment of the Broward County government, the Broward County Health Department, just not knowing what to do about the fact that we're number one in the nation with new AIDS cases. And we have another division of the county government, the tourism folks, that are saying to people, come on down. We really need to examine that. We need to stop this activity, this anonymous sex that's taking place in public restrooms, not only in public parks, but there's department stores identified and the like. That's about all the time I have for questions. I have media kits. I have 15. I have 15 Yes, we have made arrests. We have made arrests. Yeah, let me address that. Let me address that. In the early article, a newspaper reporter called a single member of the police department, and they said that it wasn't a problem. We have made arrests in Fort Lauderdale. We made an arrest at South Beach. We made an arrest at the Coral Ridge Mall. We made an arrest at Mills Pond Park. But we haven't concentrated on doing that. Our goal isn't to arrest people. It's to stop the behavior. If anyone doubts that it happens, look at the state representative that was recently arrested in the park up in the middle part of the state. And that, well, he wasn't straight if he was listening. He definitely wasn't straight. And the site that he was arrested at was listed on one of these websites, Activities Guide, that also lists one of our main parks. My goal is to get the city's parks removed from these lists. I'm going to go back under the shelter there and distribute this to anyone that has a media ID. I will be giving this information out to.
Do any sort of increased enforcement?
They respond on a complaint basis, and I'm asking people to start making more complaints. Thank you very much.
Have you met? You should be ashamed.
You should be ashamed. Shame.
Resign. You're an embarrassment to our city. Shame on